Welcome to another episode of the Urban Wall Street Project. I'm your host, Earl Christian III, of course, and today I have another dynamic show with a dynamic gentleman. He's a photographer extraordinaire. He takes some amazing photos internationally, nationally, locally. You're going to see some of his work. You're going to meet the man behind the photos, and you're going to learn a little bit about the industry of photography. So if photography is something you want to get into, get your pen and pad out, because my brother, Mr. Oscar Solis, is about to let us know what's going on. Without further ado, my brother, Mr. Solis.
What's up, man?
Glad to have you in the house.
How you, man?
You know, I'm here. I'm blessed to be here. Happy to have you, brother. You know, we go back.
Yes,
but
indeed.
It's always a pleasure for me to showcase talent.
Thank you.
I remember when we go back to Howard days, we walk around with little basic cameras that we throw away.
Yes,
and
sir.
I see you now taking some amazing photos. We have some on the
Thank
wall. We have a slideshow you brought through.
Sure.
We're going to see that in a moment. But before we get into that, I want to talk about the man behind the photos, where your passion came from, how long you've been doing it, and you know, just enlighten me. So,
Sure.
Beginning, photography 101.
Sure. Basically, been taking pictures now roughly about 20 years, 21 years, give or take. And it started out as a hobby, just fun, you know, snapshot. You remember back in the days, even high school. We used to be in our hallways just taking snapshots by the lunchroom. And of course, in college and things of that nature. And of course, as we all know, photography is an expensive habit.
No question.
Hobby, I should say.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you know, it pays off in the long run.
Right.
Using a little 110, you know, snapshot millimeters, and then moving up to like a 35 millimeter with film and running to the CVS or a Pathmark store to get your pictures developed. And after a while, you know, I had to take a break because at the end of the day, going to school and trying to take care of school and books and things of that nature, I was like, hey, I got to chill out for a little while. And then picked it back up, and when I picked it back up, it moved into the digital age. When it moved into the digital age, a lot has changed from your standard film camera.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, when you take a picture with a still shot film camera, you don't know what you have in that camera. Until
you develop it, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
You take it somewhere, somebody takes it and develops it and gives you your shots. Now, with the digital technology, you pretty much instantaneously know what you have. But at the end of the day, you still have to know what you have in your hand. Sometimes people have a camera that's $25. Somebody might have a camera that's $300.
Right.
That still doesn't mean that your $300 camera is going to take better pictures than that $25 camera. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of lessons to be learned. Knowing how to use your different shutter speeds in your camera. You want to be able to allow your image to be captured properly.
Okay.
You know, for instance, someone may take a picture and say, snap, and that's not what they wanted.
Right.
You have to be able to know how to take what you like.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, if you want to take a picture that's blurred, you set your camera to make it blurred.
Wow.
If you want it focused and sharp, you set it to do that.
Okay.
Right now, what you can do with these digital cameras, they allow you, once again, to see what you have taken immediately, but lighting is very important. Right. A lot of times you see people pictures and you're like, wow, that's a lot of light in there, or it's too dark. Right. But once you at least know that your lighting is what's gonna save you, you use your light to your advantage.
Okay.
When I say your light, we're using these lights here for the show.
Right.
Had we not had any light, people would just hear our voices.
Right, exactly.
So at the end of the day, lighting is going to be your best friend.
Now let me ask you a quick question. I'm glad you said something about lighting before we go into the slideshow.
Sure.
Red eye. You know, I don't know how frequent it is now with the digital cameras and this new digital technology.
Right.
But that red eye, and I say that because for some reason, I used to always have the red eye looking like I'm, you know, Damien, the Omen or something. Right. What causes that red eye in pictures, Oscar?
Right. Well, it's the flash. It's the lighting from the flash that actually, depending upon the angle of the camera hitting your eye, that's when you see that red eye.
Okay.
A lot of it is the angle of how the camera and how much light is coming out of that flash.
Ah, okay.
Fortunately enough, now, today, you can set the camera to red eye reduction, where you may see a little or no red eye. And now with, you know, digital software, you can take that red eye out of the picture before you even process it.
Really?
Yeah.
So when you remove the red eye, you just see a normal
eye.
That's amazing.
I've seen some pictures that I went on ahead and touched up, and it was super red eye, and I just went on, touched some buttons, and released and took out the red eyes.
Okay. Now before we get into it, I want to ask, you know, because I said it's definitely photography 101, and I like to take pictures, but I've taken pictures.
Right.
When I look at some of your pictures, I'm like, wait a minute. My pictures don't look like that. So I want to know, like, what is one of the biggest misconceptions or one of the first mistakes that a lot of probably upcoming and new photographers make?
Right. What happens is that they may purchase a camera that costs very little.
Okay.
Not to say because it costs little is not good.
Right.
You have to do some research.
Okay.
Go to the library, go online, check out the internet and find out what type of camera and what you want to do with that camera. Because a lot of people ask me, oh, I want you to help me pick out a camera. I'm like, all right, cool. But you know, my camera cost me several $100s. Right. But they just want to spend $100 and something. Right. So at the end of the day, you want to find a camera that is going to give you good flash so that you can take pictures in the daytime as well as nighttime. Okay. There's a lot of cameras you can take pictures at night. Okay. You want a camera that has a good lens. Okay. You want a good lens because you want to be able to capture a lot of image. You want a camera that's user-friendly. Okay. Today and age, a lot of products are user-friendly. So digital cameras, you just pretty much turn a knob and just press the button, shoot and go. Okay. But at the end of the day, you don't want to spend a whole lot of money, especially today and age. Right. It's a recession right now. The economy's kind of bad. Right. But there's a lot of cameras that you can get at a decent price and still get a good shot. But I ask people all the time, what are you trying to do? Right, that's the most important thing. Are you just taking family shots? Do you want to be professional? If you want to be professional, I always recommend, you may go with a couple of cameras like a Canon or a Nikon. It depends. Those are user-friendly, and you're going to get a great quality picture. Okay, great. Once again, at the end of the day, the light is going to help you, because if you have a cheap camera, if you know how to use the light, as we said earlier, the light is going to help you when you're taking pictures outdoor as well as in the house or in a studio. Great. Now, you've done some photos, and we're about to look at some right now. You've done outdoor, you've done indoor. So as we're looking at this show, and I want you to kind of like describe to the audience what they're seeing, what type of camera you might have used, what elements, was it a sunny day? Because I know a too sunny day, some people might think it's a beautiful day, it's a crystal blue sky. And I know in film, sometimes a more overcast day is better because you don't get so much sun. So I want to go into the slideshow. Sure. And I want to see some of it. And as we're looking at it, you kind of describe it. So you're sitting at home, I want you to check out some of these photos. This is a very talented brother. So let's look at what he got going on. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. This is actually, this picture is of Homecoming 08. Oh, I think that's you right there on the left side. That's Howard University Homecoming. Yeah, that's Howard Homecoming 08. Okay. That's actually 07. That's Puffy right there. Another alum. Running through the crowd. Okay. That's actually out in Portland. I was on a highway driving. I did that with a Sony camera. This picture is actually in Honduras. I was on a bus. Wow. Actually in motion. Beautiful. This is another picture of Honduras, the ocean just, chilling out. Another picture. I was there 2 weeks ago, and that bark is actually gone now because of the salt water. Amazing. That's New York City, from the Empire State Building. It was a really windy April evening around 1:30 in the morning. I like the colors though. Yeah, that was a rough shot to take. I took about 200 of those shots, believe it or not. That's from the W Hotel. That's around 46th Street. Okay. Across the Empire State Building, downtown New York. I love the angles, man. Thank you. That's the Flatiron Building on 23rd. Great. Right there. Once again, that's the 33rd Street area, Empire State Building in the background. Okay. Nice. That's 31st Street. Just was capturing the light coming in from the sun. This is actually a bike that was parked in memory to a young man that had gotten killed in the city. Wow. Macy's. Biggest store in the world. Got your man right here. Panama Red, a good friend of mine's, model extraordinaire, movie actor. This is Dignolia, a good friend of mine. This is actually her first time ever shooting. She's never been in front of the camera. Okay. This is in Brooklyn at a loft. Excellent. Another friend of mine, her name is I love that shot. Naya. She's a singer. Oh, look at this. Young lady from Brooklyn. This was for a CD, actually. This is the young lady, I'm sorry. Cynthia Cassette? Chrisette Michelle.
Chrisette Michelle.
Chrisette Michelle. This is actually in D.C. at an event that was going on last year.
Excellent.
Raheem Devine, he was also on that ticket as well.
Oh, excellent. I like that you do different things. You don't just take shots. You get the hands. You know,
yeah,
a little bit of abstract. That's cool. Man.
Yeah, I try to get a little bit of everything. Actually, this picture here, there was an artist on stage drawing all that stuff as well.
That he was the king of stage, huh?
Yeah.
All right. I like that.
That's Fat Joe at an event in Long Island last year. That's actually an accident that occurred in Jamaica.
Wow.
Yeah, it was an 18-wheeler that kind of flipped over.
That's a good-looking shot.
It's a house out in Jamaica as well.
Love this.
Another shot in Jamaica last Christmas, actually, while it was cold and snowy.
So it's amazing. I'm looking at these shots. I mean, you're picking some amazing shot locations. You know, just the whole artistry of it is amazing, man.
Yeah, I try to, you know, share with everybody exactly what I see at that particular moment. It's almost like telling a story. It's like a writer. When a writer sits down, they telling you a story.
Right.
When I catch the image, I'm trying to make sure you see exactly what's going on at the same time. I'm
looking at this, and it would seem to me that you just walk around with a camera around your neck like a chain.
Pretty much.
Just snapping shots.
Pretty much so.
And you do a lot of traveling. You got Honduras, we're in D.C.,
That's
Portland.
D.C. right there, 5th Street Northwest.
That's a beautiful shot. I love this picture right here of these
That's
trees.
down by the monument, actually, in D.C. as well. That's the cherry blossoms.
Oh, yes.
Last year in D.C.
Very nice, man.
The World War II Memorial.
Wow, definitely got to pay respect and homage. Beautiful,
yeah. That's down in D.C. as well.
That's the mall, okay.
And that was going on. I took that last year. This is my sister's group, and they do a lot of shows here in the New York City area.
Okay.
Yeah, dance company that she
Now,
has.
what cameras are you using? Because the colors is amazing.
I'm actually, in these pictures, majority of them are a Nikon.
Okay.
This is actually over by Orchard Beach in the Bronx. People think it's Mars, but that's here in this on Earth, you know?
Okay.
That's a nephew of mine. I had him posing for me, you know, showing off. And that's him concentrating on a bingo game.
That's amazing, man.
Doing Thanksgiving.
So, and I know I'm looking at these photos, and I know you shoot photos, and like I said, you're a professional. You shoot photos all around the world. It's obvious.
Right.
And you shoot for a lot of different people. And, and that's a beautiful thing, man. So you've been professionally doing your photography now for how long, Oscar?
For now, actually 3 years professionally.
Okay.
Come up to now, everything's been just a hobby more so. Now it's in the forefront, and now I'm doing it on a professional level, traveling with it as well.
Okay, exactly.
Yeah.
Now I'm looking at this. I like that type of shot. What is that kind of effect on there?
It's actually a cartoon effect. I like to call it Oscar-mation.
So you shoot the picture and then put a cartoon effect.
I put a cartoon.
I like that
effect.
Oscar-mation.
I put a cartoon effect.
Great.
Yeah. Those the last couple of kids with my nephew, my niece, and then these are a couple of models that I took some pictures of for a designer in D.C. last year. Great.
That's a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah.
I'm so proud, man. I'm looking at those pictures, and I need to go ahead and get in a photo shoot to do something for myself. This is a hobby. I know I was supposed to do it with you a while ago.
Yes, sir.
But I want to get back to it. So
yes, sir.
One of the things about business, you're an entrepreneur. Once you become a professional, like you said, you've been doing it for 20 years, but 3 years professionally. So that means 17 years has been, I'm on my grind, I'm on my struggle. I'm doing what I have to do to get where I want to be.
Precisely.
What's some of the obstacles that you encountered, and I mean, when I'm gonna say early on, I mean, after college, you got a little bit of paper flowing, you can afford a nice camera, but there's always gonna be obstacles. So what's some of the obstacles as I'm gonna say an amateur photographer you wanna be aware of and look out for?
Right. Some of the obstacles that you can encounter is that a lot of people tend to do a lot of work continuously for free.
Okay.
At the end of the day, you're a professional, or at least you want to become a professional.
Right.
If it's a hobby, that's okay, no problem. You could it could become a hobby for the rest of your life. But if you want to take it to the next level where you're doing it for websites, for models, for weddings, or even portraits for families.
Right.
Some of the problems that you may encounter is sticking around your friends a lot and just taking pictures of your friend continuously.
Okay.
If you're looking to make money, some friends are okay. Some friends you may have to say, hey, look, I can't shoot you right now.
Right.
I'm looking and I'm searching to find somebody else. That's one. Two is it's expensive. It's expensive trade. It's expensive.
Cameras,
art is expensive. Film, cameras, lenses, filters, bags, you know, stands, backdrops. I mean, all this stuff costs money.
Traveling on location.
Traveling on location, things of that nature. Sometimes you gotta stay up certain times of the day, certain times of the morning, sometimes of the night, just to capture a particular sunset or sunrise. So at the end of the day, you know, being able to afford to take pictures.
Right.
Once again, start off small. I mean, I start off with the 110s. I still shoot film.
Right.
So the digital age isn't gonna take me into cyberspace forever. You know, I still go old school and use a regular camera with film, develop it, because with film, you could really take pictures and blow them up really, really, really large and still have the image that you want. Right. Versus digital sometimes.
Now let me ask you a technical question, and hopefully I'll word it correctly, you know, with my small knowledge of photography. Right. You know, you can shoot in film, then you have digital. Right. Is there a difference or advantage or disadvantage to using one or the other?
Oh, definitely. With film, of course, once again, it takes time to get the picture processed. Once you get it processed, looking at that picture and trying to figure out how you want to edit it, versus with digital, it's instantaneous. You can look at it in your camera. Once you load it into your computer, you could go ahead and crop it immediately.
Now, which one do you think is which one's more expensive or least expensive?
That's a good question. They're equally expensive. I mean, film is just as expensive as going ahead and get your camera and load it into your camera and start processing pictures. Because when you processing pictures, you may go 8x10, and depending upon kind of work you're doing, you may want to go even larger than that.
Right.
So the paper and ink cost money.
Of course.
For that printer.
Right.
So they could be as equally as expensive.
Okay. Now, you know, you've blessed me. You brought some photos that would grace the wall.
Yeah.
And I want to check out these photos. You know, I saw them, but I really like this one in the frame right here. Now, that picture right there, we saw it, but what is that picture of, what is that flower up there, brother?
That's actually, well, that was in Jamaica last year. And I was actually trying to find out what was the name of this flower.
Okay.
My whole trip, and everybody just kept telling me, me don't know, me don't know. Okay. And I was like, you know,
somebody got to know.
Yeah, somebody got to know.
Right.
And they were like, it's just a flower, it's just a flower. I was like, okay, cool, I'll go home with that. But I really, that was one day when I was actually going sailing, and I said, hey, let me take this picture before I go sailing, because I knew by the time I arrived back to land, the sun was going to be in a whole nother opposite direction, and I was going to miss capturing that.
Now, this photo right here, we saw that, and you said that was just 2 weeks ago. You was in Honduras?
Yeah, this picture, I took this in 07.
Okay, so
spring
last year.
07.
Okay.
But I was in Honduras 2 weeks ago, and that bark right there is actually gone from the salt water.
Wow, it's amazing.
So it washed it away. So
right, and we saw it on the slides for my people at home. Right. It's the bark. You see it right now on the screen.
Exactly.
And I mean, so that was sticking out of the sand?
Yeah, exactly. Just like that. And now, like I said, I was there 2 weeks ago, and the salt water just literally washed it away.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So Oscar, so you know, one thing about, you know, we all have, you know, we have passion, we have dreams, and some people recognize their dreams early. Some people don't. Some people actually, you know, sacrifice to make their dreams come to fruition, as you have and I have. When did you know? You know, when did you know, like, you know what, this is actually what I want to do? When did it go from being like, I like taking pictures? Because I remember at college, you took pictures. I remember you took pictures of me with my camera, and October, and I got a whole roll that I never even developed, and I remember it. But when did you know that this is what I want to do with my life?
Yeah, it has been roundabout, I would say 10 years ago, actually, because I always been within the whole entertainment industry, working with the music business, working with people like Aaliyah, being on the road, taking shots behind scenes here and there. But of course, the music industry was my vehicle to make connections, meet people, and go ahead and put myself in a position to not only make money, but also meet people and buy more equipment, buy the necessary tools that I need, as well as the training, so that I can go ahead and share this with the world.
Now let me ask you, somebody's starting off. I'm a novice. I'm new. I'm photography 101. I just got out of a photography course, and you know, my pocket's really not like that. What's a good amount of money you would suggest that a new person that's getting into photography start out with? Because you don't want to just go, like you said, you can go out and spend $1,000 on a camera, but if you're really not skilled in what you're doing, you might have just really wasted your money. What would you suggest is a good starting figure for a new photographer?
I would say they can start off with at least $1,000.
Okay, 1,000. So you need a little,
yeah,
it's $1,000 for
at least $1,000 so you can go and buy some lights.
Okay.
You get some lights, some start-off lights and a backdrop for about $200. $200. You can get a camera, decent digital camera for about $400 or $500. You get a flash for about another $100 and change. So at the end of the day, now you have your little setup.
Right.
Now, once again, it's a matter of how you work and know your camera versus somebody that purchases a $3,000 camera.
Okay.
Because you just spent $1,000, you might come out with some images that's like, wow, that's incredible.
Wow.
Versus somebody that goes on ahead and spends, you know, $3,000, $4,000.
So now you're doing it, and you're feeling yourself, and you're in your craft, you're knowing it. You know, I'm getting nice at this, and I'm getting better. And I'm looking at the picture like, yo, you definitely got this thing. So I'm so happy. What was one of your greatest moments, greatest times being a photographer? Wow,
that's a good question. I would say there's so many. Right. There's so many.
So give me three of your most memorable shots.
My memorable shots. I would have to definitely say one was the one, the picture of when I was on the highway. Okay. Driving down from Portland. Right. No, from Seattle to LA. Right. And I was on the highway and I saw this image of a mountain out in Portland, and I was driving and I literally, I couldn't believe it because as I was driving, the clouds were in front of me. Wow. So at this point, I'm like, where am I going? Right. You know, I thought this was it. I was like, I'm going to heaven. Let me take my watch off. Let me just, I'm good. Everything's okay. Right. I mean, literally, there was a big cloud in front of me, and I'm driving straight, and I'm like, wow. So at that particular moment, I just took my camera out and just kept shooting as I was driving. I couldn't even get out the car, and that's how I captured that image.
Now, okay, now I know you're going to move, but I know you got some shots over here you want to show.
Yeah.
Let me see a couple of these shots, you know, that we didn't maybe see.
Yeah, let me show. This is actually, this is another picture out in Jamaica. This is on some palm trees that were out there that I captured. I have a couple of friends that actually ordered this print. They really like this picture. I got another picture of, this is Homecoming. I think it was on a slideshow as well. This is one of the shots that I took last Homecoming, 08.
Yeah, that's a great day.
And people are actually ordering these pictures today.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Alumni as well as, you know, just anybody that want to have a picture that has serious memory. I mean, I went into the library this particular day to try to find anything in there that looks like this, and I couldn't find anything like that. We have
another one?
This is another picture of a sailboat.
Beautiful.
And this was when I was out on vacation in Jamaica as well, last Christmas. And this is another picture of
guitar.
This is a gentleman playing a guitar at the Raheem Devine concert. And I was hired to do the photos for that as well.
I like that shot.
So, you know, a lot of people that, musicians, they usually say, hey, let me get something like that. You know, I like that, you know, so. These are just a couple of shots that I have available with me today.
And I like that, man. I really appreciate it, man. So now let me tell you, you know, when it comes to, this is one thing that's really important at Access of all entrepreneurs, because, you know, there's a lot of sacrifice that goes into becoming your own person, doing your thing, following your dream. What was, when you decided, you know, Mom, Dad, brother, I'm going to become a photographer professional. And because you don't have a starting point, you don't have a base.
Exactly.
How was your support system?
That's a good question. The support system, fortunately enough, you know, I have a humongous family. You know, I don't know, it's probably 1,000 of us, I'm not sure. But at the end of the day, they love my work, you know. Whether they don't like it or not, they always say, oh, that's nice, I like that. So that's good encouragement at the end of the day, because you know, none of them come and say, hey, that picture sucks. You know, they're great. They're like, wow, that's nice, that's nice.
And but you don't have yes men, so if you have pictures not so hot, they will be like,
Exactly, especially my brother. You know, my brother be like, yo, I don't really like that's all right, but I like that one.
So check it. I got about 30 seconds. 3 solid pieces of advice for aspiring photographers.
1, when you're starting out, don't go out spending a whole bunch of money. Be careful on your money spending.
Okay.
2, make sure to use your lights and study your lights properly. Okay. Study them day and night. And 3, always be conscious of what you're gonna charge for your prints. Don't go out coming out the gate trying to charge $1,000 when, right. You know, you brand new, you know, you just, you know, don't go crazy price-wise.
Be humble with it.
Be humble with it, exactly.
Excellent, excellent.
Yeah.
My people at home, I'm hopeful that you've garnered some knowledge in the area of photography. You know, we all love taking pictures. A lot of us like being in pictures, but it's when you really get serious about it, it's not just about picking up a picture and snapping a shot. You really want to make sure you know what you're talking about, you know what you're doing, you know what you need, you know what you want to give the customer, the patron, or you just want to give to yourself. I hope you enjoy this lesson on photography. I'm probably going to have my brother back again so we can continue educating individuals in this area of photography. I don't see enough of us in it, so we're going to get into it. But you know, you've been watching the Urban Wall Street Project. Like I always say, be mindful. Stay busy. If you want to be an entrepreneur like my brother, Mr. Solis, or like myself, you know you can join the Urban Wall Street Project Business Club. We're going international. We're helping people just like you get in position to change your life. Get some residual and passive income in your life. If you don't know it, that's your homework for the day. What is residual and passive income? As I always say, be mindful, be prosperous, keep your head up. Till next time, peace.
Peace.
Oh, man.